Recording already.
All right, Tim's in. There we go. We are good.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Tilton Scales. I'm joined by my good friends Wally, Chet, and Tim. We all have not been on together in quite a long time, so we'll go around the horn and get an update. We'll start with you, Tim, since you were the last to join. But you drew the short straw, so go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I
I
guess.
think it's a height crack. A crack at your height there, if I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess not much to report. Life goes on. School started for the kids. Wyatt just got a job today.
Hey,
Ooh.
For
let's
him.
go.
And
Earning and burning.
yeah, work is work and life is life. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on around here. But thanks for
Okay.
asking.
Yeah. Chet, let's get the skinny on you.
Sure. Yeah, no, work is work. That's definitely still the same. We just started up cheer basketball. School starts on Tuesday, so Cameron has once again earned the starting spot for quarterback, and he's already done a couple scrimmages, did really well, really proud of him. And Haley
Are
is
you coaching again?
No, I don't coach tackle. I make him earn that on tackle. I don't like the look of tackle coach and his son's the quarterback. I don't love that look. So he goes and earns it. So he's captain too. He got chosen as captain, and then my daughter got
That's
chosen as
awesome.
captain of her cheer team. And so, we're on cloud nine at the same time. I don't know where my wife is ever. She doesn't know where I am. Good chance we're at some practice somewhere doing something. And that's my life now. So there it is.
Yeah, welcome to my world. I only had one, but it was the same thing. Crazy life once they get into sports or after school activities. Yeah, you you notice your life change, that's for sure. I definitely never really wanted to work out in the morning. As soon as kids had activities after school that took priority, that was the only time I could get it in uninterrupted and not feel like I was taking time away from everybody else or being selfish in that aspect, even though it's a good thing to do. But it felt selfish leaving the mom with the kids, and not allowing her to do the same thing if she wanted to. So
Yeah.
yeah, Wally, you're up.
Yeah, I'm on the clock in 8 picks. Oh, we're not talking fantasy. So I'm drafting
Good.
as well as watching this. So I apologize if I seem a little distracted. It's not intentional. I just want to. I want to win. I want to win everything I do. It's really a horrible habit of mine. It's a terrible character trait. I'm very competitive and I try to win at everything. I wish it wasn't that way, but it served me well this far. Otherwise, school starts for my kids on Tuesday. Summer's over. It was such a quick summer. We have such a jam-packed summer that I was busy almost every day, and certainly every weekend. So it just flew by, and it's over, and fall's here. Um, Life's good, man. We keep moving on. Again, I keep much like you guys. I'm working, just trudging away, punching the clock,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I do
counting the
want to
days to
hear.
retirement.
I do want to hear. I beat you there, so apparently you're not very competitive, Wally. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I do want an update on Mufasa. Have we made a decision? Did the brace work? And maybe
We did
catch
the
Chet
brace has
and
he's still not putting any weight on it. We're still awaiting the orthopedic surgeon to get a hold of our vet, who will then schedule an appointment. He's doing all right. He's hopping around. He has not put an ounce of weight on it. He'll occasionally set it on the ground, but he won't put any weight on it. So there's no real update. I think we're going to go ahead with the surgery.
Okay. Last episode or last week, Wally informed us that his dog hurt his leg, and it was like a football
Yeah.
injury where the dog cut and like you knew something was jacked up. It didn't like wince in pain. He just like laid down.
And we were in the middle of absolutely nowhere. We were like an hour and a half into the Maine woods, no cell phone reception, no electricity. An hour into that long weekend. We were there for 5 days. An hour into that trip, my dog blew out his knee.
Oh,
And estimated on the surgery to repair the knee is like $6,000. So he said, "What do you guys think?" I said, "Cut it off."
Is it cheaper to cut it off?
Ask him what the price is, or if it's $6,000, like, man, that's a lot of money. Or go out and get pet insurance and scam them.
Yeah, I know. When we say we love our pets, it kind of comes with an asterisk because there's a price tag attached to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Wally. I hope Mufasa's better. You said you did or did not try the brace.
We haven't tried the brace yet.
Okay. So that's
all right. I'm on the clock
in
three picks.
Nobody cares, Wally. Keep it to yourself.
We're drafting this. We're in this together, and I'm announcing every pick. Chet told me I had to.
I did tell you that.
Oh,
I'm curious. I have no idea about anything that has to do with drafting, how it works. I don't know what you're drafting. I have no idea. So you're all doing the same thing. You're all drafting the same.
Not right now. He's doing another league, but we did ours last week, and it's basic fantasy football is, you draft the players. So let's say in the NFL, what would you say, Chet? Yeah. There's like 300 players maybe in the NFL.
Sure.
Like total, whatever I think the roster's 53.
No, it's more than 300. It's 53 times 32. So it's more than 300, but
I didn't do the math in my head. I just said exactly what you just said.
Yeah. So, Wally, I think maybe you seem like the kind of guy who would know this. Did you ever play Stratomatic baseball?
I don't think I have not. Is that a form of like a fancy baseball?
It was
statistics.
It's the proto fantasy anything.
Yeah,
and I remember playing that
before fantasy baseball. Yeah.
You could pick your players, like Sandy Koufax, and there's 3 columns, and you roll dice, and it depends on what you get. You get a hit, or the other guy gets a hit, and you kind of keep track of things.
So that was like fantasy, any sport now, fantasy wise. That was like that, and Dungeons and Dragons, like had a baby, but now it's just a little bit more like all the stats are done for you. You don't calculate points or nothing.
Right.
You just you pick your team, and then you pick based off of your rankings personally. And by rankings, I mean you see how they're ranked when you draft them, or even before. You can read articles, but the platform that you use will draft them. They will tell you like their average draft position, like in all the fantasy leagues that they have across the nation, and it'll also tell you like what their ranking is, how that platform ranks them. Like some people have.
So is it just you 3?
No, there's I got Jose's in it as well, and then my sister, her husband, and her 3 kids. And there's somebody else that I'm forgetting because there's 10 people in that league.
What's the?
And I'm not sure any of them really know football because
Wally's brothers in it.
You really had to help them out considerably, Nate.
Who?
All of them.
Oh, the kids.
You changed the rules, and you changed their keepers about 10 minutes before the draft started.
Yes, I did. That's because they didn't know what they were doing. But yes, I did help them. That's also why when your sons, when you're ready to give your son $20 to have a team, he can be in the team, man, automatically.
Nope, every man for himself, and I will try to beat him too, and I'll cheat to do it, and I won't be sorry. Listen, he's got to learn. This is a dog-eat-dog world.
That's what I'm saying. It's a learning lesson. You can
Yeah.
absolutely do that. Same with Chet. When Cameron wants a team, like let's get him going. Like it's only $20 as long as, I mean, I'm not saying you encourage gambling, but it's not technically gambling if you're putting money in to play a game and then you can win at some point.
You're earning it. I mean, you're making choices, right? So you're not just putting a coin in a slot machine.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I just fucked up.
What'd you do?
So with my first 3 picks, I took 2 guys from Atlanta, and I really don't like doing that. But I got Bijan, obviously. I also drafted Drake London.
I was gonna say, who's the? Yeah.
In the 3rd round. I think he's going to have a huge year. I think he's good. I just don't like taking 2 such integral parts of a single offense.
You're drafting off of your thoughts, Wally. Like,
and
in the 3rd round, there's
draft.
guarantees. There's guarantees other than your thoughts. Like, you know what I mean? Who was the next available besides Drake London?
It was Drake London. There was
probably like
McConkey.
Brian Thomas.
No, Brian Thomas was not available.
You didn't take Ladd McConkey?
No, I think Drake London is. But I love Ladd McConkey. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Ladd McConkey. But I think Drake London.
Tim doesn't care
Drake
about
London
this stuff.
Is
I was just gonna say, Tim is so excited that he's on here.
McConkey.
I like
taking Terry McLaurin or Devontae Adams. I think Drake London is rated higher than all of them.
I like hearing things I don't know anything about. That's fine.
Super fun.
I like it when Nate and Wally start bickering. It's hilarious.
That is great.
Show up. That's why I show
up.
There's
no bickering here. I'm actually playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to get Wally all spun up. He's just being an asshole.
Like, what do you want me to do? If he's going to be an asshole, I got to respond. He's provoked.
All right, so
being provoked.
We'll start.
Quit triggering me, Nate. Quit triggering me.
We'll start off with the next royal wedding, Wally. I'm sure you know royalty has many forms, and the royal wedding that we will experience at some point as the society that is the United States of America will be Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So what are our initial reactions? I mean, again, I do feel like because of her popularity and because of football and everything that's going on, like, this is on the level of a royal wedding. Like, we haven't talked about somebody getting married on a social platform like this.
And why start now?
Time.
Why start now?
Yeah.
Well, because it's trending, and I want to get your. I mean, Chet, you have a daughter. I'm sure she loves Taylor Swift. I'm sure she probably knows more about it than you do. But if you need to phone a friend or a lifeline, bring her in. Let her tell us all about it. But I mean, my real question is, are the names going to be hyphenated? And is it going to be Kelsey Swift and then hers is Swift Kelsey, or is it vice versa? You know,
listen,
like Swift.
If he's
Swift
smart,
Kelsey.
he can call Travis Swift. If he has another year in the NFL after he gets married, Travis Swift is a cool football name. Go with that.
I mean, it is pretty cool. He would probably be the only male that I know that would take a woman's name. So, like, he would be the only one that I know, whether personally or professionally or just out there in the social atmosphere.
Well, she's valued at about 1.8 billion. So listen, sometimes it's a good business decision.
I mean,
put your pride aside. And having said that, I hear what you're saying, Nate, and I agree. It's like I don't care about their wedding. I'm happy for them. Like, all the power to them. I've really enjoyed the interviews. Like, they both come across as genuine, nice people. I think more people like that should get married and have a whole bunch of kids, and the world will be a better place because of it. So, hats off, blessings to them. I wish them the best of luck. I've enjoyed their interviews. I've enjoyed like, she was on New Heights, Travis and Jason Kelsey's podcast, and it actually, I listened to it. I typically listen to their podcast anyway, and I thought it was a good interview. She came across very likable. It was genuine and it seemed sincere. And sure, it could have been all manufactured, but I enjoyed the interview, and I wish them the best of luck. I harbor no ill will.
The most watched podcast in history, I think, is what
in history. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they made history.
Her following packs a punch, and she seems like a genuinely good person. Like, there's a lot of hate for Taylor Swift. I don't really understand it. Everything I've seen about her seems genuine and nice, and sure, she's had a lot of relationships, but who am I to judge, frankly?
Haters gotta hate, right?
Yeah.
Truth. You know what though? If either one of them have an agent worth a damn, they better put that wedding on pay-per-view. Make that money.
So, okay, here's my prediction. My prediction is they go small and traditional. So I think Swift's next album is going to be back to country roots because she's maturing. Nobody wants to see a 40-year-old like
Pop singer,
flaunting
yeah.
her stuff and saggy and all. Like you turn into this Madonna character. She looks like she was stung by a bee. She's not unrecognizable. A 7-year-old twerking and gyrating. I mean, it's just disgusting. And I think you're seeing Katy Perry, who's what, 40 something, I don't know, a few years older than her. And people are already like, all right, this is weird. Why are you still doing this? So I think Swift, she's a genius marketer. I think she's going to go traditional. I think she's going to go country. And I bet she goes small traditional wedding. That's my call.
I could see that for sure. Just a small wedding, meaning all of their family, which probably isn't that small, but like, and
Yeah.
it'll be a wedding, a destination wedding somewhere, private and remote. I definitely agree with that. I don't know about the country thing. That would be kind of cool, but I think she's done enough. I would not be surprised if this is truly what she wants as far as, getting hitched and having
I
a
need
family.
I need a quick vote. Sorry to interrupt. DK Metcalf, Marvin Harrison, or Brees Hall?
Marvin Harrison, easy.
Well, here's
I didn't
here's
hear
what-
who you said, so
DK Metcalf, Marvin Harrison, or Brees Hall?
Marvin Harrison, yeah.
I think I'm going to go Marvin Harrison too.
the reason I think
Same time,
the reason I think she's going to go country is because she's obviously in music, and I think she'll continue to do so. But the pop genre isn't that best suited to handle some of these more mature emotions. But country is, and I think that's where she started. I think that's where she's going back to. Anyway,
I wouldn't be surprised either. Again, I also wouldn't be surprised if she not hangs it up, but like goes to raise the family, be the mom, and throws out some singles every now and then, but not like she's not touring, she's not putting out a CD. She's she's just living the life that she's earned. So
Tim, you make a good point that pop music is not designed for those like heavy emotions. Country, rap, because hip hop can go there pretty easily based on the storytelling part of it, but that's obviously not her talent. Is not rap. So I think I think country that's a strong possibility when you sort of phrase it that way and put it in that context.
She's already got a song with dang it, who is it? A rapper. Like she's already had some lyrics.
Are you talking about the one with T-Pain? Like that was a sarcasm.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was like more sarcasm, that one.
Oh, was it? But either way, like country genres, country is turning into multiple genres, and they're all doing, what is it called? Dang it. Collabs, or I don't know what they call them.
Well, way to go,
they're all
Chet,
collaborating.
showing the depth of knowledge of Swiftie kind of lore there.
Yeah. I know what she's good at. I know what she's not good at.
On that same token, I teased, Chet wasn't there, but Wally was. I teased who I thought was going to be, I was going to reveal who I think is going to be the performer at Super Bowl 60.
Ooh.
And I have some information that is brought to you by Grind City Media, which is another podcast. But there's some data out there where this individual has been throwing out hints, and it's Taylor Swift. And there's a few hints as far as why they think socially, like they think that she's going to be the performer at Super Bowl 60. Now, before I get into that, there is one thing that doesn't jive as far as her being the performer. The performer is normally one, they're not paid. It's all publicity. It's all getting your name back out there, kind of like a re-energization. It feels like it's been that way for the last at least 5 years or so. But anyway, they don't get paid. So I'm not saying that she wouldn't do it because of that reason, but she is one of the most popular musicians in the world right now. So for her to do that, that's kind of cool, but I still think she should get paid. And that might also change the precedence on the NFL. And like maybe now they will throw her some cheddar, right? But anyway, so she's been talking about making sourdough a lot. And she referred to it in the podcast that she was on in New Heights. Do you know the name of the 49ers mascot? It is Sourdough Sam. Do you also know the location of Super Bowl 60?
Is it San Francisco?
Yeah, Levi Stadium in San Francisco. And so she said that she's been thinking, her quotes were, I've been thinking about, I think about making sourdough 60% of the time. What also matches with 60 this year coming up, the end of the football season. Super Bowl 60, right? And also she said, thank you. She thanks everybody for screaming for 47 seconds. What was her, the tour stop in her Eras tour at Levi Stadium was the number 47 stop in her Eras tour. So at every one of her tours, she wanted people to cheer for 47 seconds.
Okay.
And she said that out loud.
It's like playing 4D chess there, isn't she?
So that's 3 different reasons / Easter eggs. And she's been quoted before as saying, I don't Easter egg my personal career. I will throw out some Easter eggs on my professional career and what's coming up for me in the future, et cetera, et cetera. So
I think she gets pregnant and gives birth on stage during that.
No. Rihanna beat her to that. Rihanna beat her to that.
That would literally be a miracle. And not only that, as we know it, it would be impossible because unless she's got the buns in the oven already.
How old is she? 35.
I don't know.
Oh, just because you're talking about, hey.
Well, I'm saying it's February, right? So August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, I mean, it could be a preemie, but that's already got to be.
Thank you has 7 letters in it, and part of Travis Kelce's number is 7. If you,
that's only one. What?
I'm just messing with you with the logic that you have, but you're making good sense. If she's throwing out Easter eggs, then fair enough.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get your reactions on that. That's my teaser and my Super Bowl pick for the performance, Super Bowl 60. It's going to be Taylor Swift. I don't know how it works. I think she'll probably go down in history as being the only performer to get paid. The NFL will probably pay her to do that, and they will think about the amount of viewers that they'll gain after halftime. When traditionally, that's normally when they lose viewers, right? So,
I mean, I think from a pure marketing standpoint, it makes sense. I've never thought that I'd turn on SportsCenter in the morning and I'd be hearing like the Get Up crew talking about Taylor Swift.
Like, yeah.
Holy shit! Like this is very different than what I ever thought I would see. So yeah, I think that Super Bowl performance makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we can move on now from all that silly stuff. We can talk about what Tim sent us a meme about, or a little link about. So Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, obviously, they're together, 50-year difference. Apparently, Jordan Hudson, through her entrepreneurship, has requested to trademark the term gold digger. And it is, I guess, when you go for a trademark, to purchase a trademark, you have to claim, you can't just say the verbiage. Like it can't be, I'm trademarking this verbiage, gold digger. No, you can't do that. You have to identify the term and then define it, or in what sense are you trademarking it. So she's looking at doing a jewelry company called Gold Digger. What are our reactions to that? What are your thoughts, Tim?
I just thought it was funny because, that's what everyone's thinking. Oh, this woman's a gold digger. Clearly she is. And she just swallows the reductio and is like, yep. Not only am I a gold digger, every time you say the
I'm
word, I
approve
get
it.
5 cents.
Yeah, yeah.
It's unbelievable. But and then the fact that guys like Belichick, they're like, yeah, we all know what's going on here. She doesn't want me for my body, right? Or even if he has a even he has a fantastic personality, uh, you know that she's in it just for the cash. But he accepts that reality, and you know he's got the what do they call FU money probably, where he can just do what he wants.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he definitely has the well, you call it FU money. What's another term that I'm looking for? Not expendable. Some expense. It's not expenses. Gosh, what's the
You
financial
talking about
term? Wally,
walking
help us
around
out. You're smarter than all of us when it comes to this stuff.
Absolutely. Do you think I should draft Rome or Dunze or Jerry Judy? Oh,
Roma
sorry,
Dunze.
sorry.
Roma Dunze.
Sorry.
Who's Jerry Judy's quarterback?
In Cleveland, that's a great question.
Joe Flacco.
I might go with
Flacco.
Hawkinson at the
Joe
tight end,
Flacco.
though.
But yes, he definitely has some money to play with, and he's not gonna miss the money if she's on a allowance slash. I say allowance in jest because of the 50-year difference, and she's still practically a child. So, but I'm sure
Is
she's
there
got some
is
sort
there a
of
prenup involved there?
with
I don't are
Jordan
they
Hudson.
engaged? Are they even engaged? I don't think they're even engaged.
Well,
Are
yeah, right. There probably
Okay.
isn't now, but
Yeah.
she's on the payroll as his obviously his media
they?
representative.
I think she's just trolling everybody, and there's probably something to do with the Hulu thing that they're doing, the UNC
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I bet you that it's just her way of saying like all you small people wish you did what I did and you hate me for it. And so now I'm gonna trademark this. And that's what young people do. I own it. I'm better than you. I'm better than you ever could be. And that's how a lot of them feel. So that I could see her trademarking that to be like, you all hate me. Guess what? I'm still winning. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I see that as. I could be wrong. Like maybe there's something else to it, but young people tend to be very arrogant, especially when they have more money in their first 20 years of life than most of us will make in our entire lifetime.
It's all WWF, man, over and over in real life. Like
Yep.
she's the villain. She knows it.
Yep.
It's
What is she
Monday Night
doing?
Raw
She's
every
like
day.
The Rock Johnson. She's just owning it, right? She's playing out the bad guy motif to a
Yep.
T.
Yeah. She's doing great.
I learned everything I needed to know through Monday Night Raw.
Hey, you'd be surprised.
I took a lot of my business cues up to this day. I'm like, oh, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that on Raw.
I have no other thoughts about this. It's I think it's funny, and it's one of those things that you kind of roll your eyes at and be like, well, must be nice to have that kind of money, and good luck with all that. I'm sure she's going to be patting his hand lovingly when he's lying on the deathbed. Right.
Yeah, it just seems silly. Wally, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, I wasn't focused.
All right, I'm just gonna mute you. Let me know. Start waving your arms
I'm
when
ready.
you're
I'm
ready.
ready.
Oh, did you just, that was a Tony reality moment just now. You just around the horned him. Wow. Wow.
It says I have to ask you to unmute, Wally.
Oh, now he's gonna refuse. I love that. I love that. Excellent response.
Let me know when your draft's over with.
Excellent response. Oh,
This is
funny.
like in hockey. You get your time. You get a 2-minute penalty.
I do think it's funny how, out of respect for him, like none of his former players, not even the ones that hated him, not even the ones that it seems like everybody respects him that he's come in contact with, because there is not a lot of people out there that want to jump on this and start beating the drum of like that it's trash, like he's destroying his reputation, she's a gold digger. I'm surprised that there isn't somebody that
The only mention I can
Yeah,
think
I mean it's stereotypes, right? They're just falling into both falling into their stereotypes. She's a young up and comer, striving for the spotlight. He's an old kind of over the hill coach, can't get a job in the NFL, wants to stay relevant. He spent his entire career bashing social media. Her entire existence is social media. Like I feel like they're falling into stereotypes. This is the old man who's made his money, has burned through women in the last couple of years. I mean, whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever.
Has he burned through women? Who else has he dated?
He got a divorce, and he went on to Linda. What was his ex's name? I mean, in a couple of years.
Know.
I mean, I don't know, man. Listen.
I liked it better when I didn't know who he was dating. I'll be honest.
They're joining in a social contract, and I think that they both understand they're adults and they understand what they're getting into. And I don't give a shit one way or the other. It's an agreement. They're happy. They both serve each other's needs. Hats off to them. She's in the spotlight. He's banging a 24-year-old. Like, good for them. It doesn't bother me one bit.
I definitely think he should be, but I'm not sure that he is. I'm not sure that's happening.
The first time I saw that, I remembered when who was it? Like the coach for the Dallas Cowboys used to do that commercial for Extends. Remember?
Or no,
Johnson. It was something Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. He's doing a commercial for Extends, and I was like, "That's it right there, man. That's what he needs."
That's what Bill should do. You know, this is how you stay youthful. Hymns.
You know, you look at Brady, and I think there's probably some things that are going on behind the scenes. And he continues to stay in the NFL, and it's like, all right, man, just go, take it while you're on top. He divorces his supermodel wife, who's worth more money than he is. And it's almost, and then Belichick does this thing, and they had such a connection. It's almost remind me like E.T. and Elliot, where they had this connection. What happened to one happened to the other. And it's like now Brady made these bad decisions. Now Belichick is falling apart. It's like,
yeah, you know what that reminds me of too. It's on topic as far as the connection between two famous people. But the day Hulk Hogan died, Vince McMahon got into like this horrendous car crash. And you're like, what? Like that's insane. Like these two. It's like seems like
did that really happen?
Yeah,
is that true?
Yeah. So it seems like some things are like cosmically connected in a strange way.
How's Vince McMahon doing then? I didn't hear about
fine,
that.
Like always, like that's fine. He's fine. But he wrecked.
So it was a major accident, meaning the car was, but the safety features of the car
took care of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
His car is absolutely destroyed. Like I don't know. The only reason he lived is because he can afford a car like that. But yeah, it was horrendous for anybody else.
Okay.
Probably all the testosterone has created sort of a thick, like veneer over his skin that just kind of protects him from it.
Yeah, you need that. You need that. The big T. You need that.
Need the big T.
And the BCP 157 as well.
Is that a peptide?
Yeah, I'm on it, man. It's great.
Yeah. What does it do?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It just makes me feel better. I think it makes me feel better.
Are you dating a 24-year-old social media?
No.
Joe Rogan said it's okay.
But I did get a phone number from a 26-year-old.
Hey.
What's his name?
I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm single. She's single. What? What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, you were afraid to repeat it? Okay. I'll take that as an insult. All right, moving on.
It was a direct affront of your masculinity.
I guess. The testosterone helps in that aspect.
Do you really take testosterone?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What I think I remember you saying that. You notice a difference?
I noticed it when I was 38. Like I was going to the gym in the morning just like I always do. And when I came home, like finished the workout, I had been doing the same workouts for doing CrossFit for a long time. I was coming home and from the gym and it's like a 15-minute drive and I was falling asleep. Like I did not, like my day was over. Like I had no energy. And then I went to a clinic. It was a hormone clinic. We experimented with just using natural stuff, some natural supplements. And then I I dabbled, meaning I did that for about 60 to 90 days. I felt okay, but I still didn't, I wasn't trying to go back to the way I felt when I was 24, but you know, you know, literally time frame wise, if I could go back to 6 months before I felt that way, like that's where I wanted to go. And of course I wasn't doing any blood work. So, you know how blood work works. Like they tell you, okay, here's your free testosterone. Here's your testosterone. This is where you're at now. Okay. But you're normal, and testosterone levels go from literally like, I think it's like 500 to 1250. And they say that's the normal range. But but my question to the doctor was, how do you know that 6 months ago I wasn't at 1250? Like how do you know I'm much higher than what I am now, even though I'm still in the normal range, because I feel this way, so.
Right.
So we went back and forth, tried to do it with natural supplements, and I felt a little bit better, but I guess I cheated in a sense. Like let me try this, see how it works. So I tried it, and it's a smaller dose. It's not like, and again, it's not a dose that I'm trying to like. I'm not abusing it. I say I'm not abusing it because I have a doctor that's, again, they're monitoring my levels. If anything goes off, they've told me to go see a kidney specialist because my chromatin level was high, but I forgot to tell them that I started taking creatine again. Like, I don't know if that happened, if that did that, or not, but like, and they're also like your what is it when your blood thickens?
Needed that guy.
When your blood's thick. Like it, or you have more red blood cells than you need,
Oh, okay, yeah. Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the term, but anyway, they've told me that a couple times. Like, hey, go donate some blood. They'll take the red blood cells out, thin it out, and then that should even you out. Yeah. So, it's again, if it's cheating, I'm fine with it. I feel great. Like I don't get paid. I'm not a paid professional athlete, so I say it's not cheating. So
there's no
well,
cheating.
listen, if anybody wants to pay you, you're accepting donations.
Am I?
Might as well,
aren't you?
Don't speak for me, Wally.
You're not accepting endorsements? Listen, if a testosterone company wanted to endorse you, you would. Say
I see what you're saying. Yes.
They would want you to get a pair of balls tattooed to your forehead, though. That just is an advertisement.
How much money on for sale? Like how much?
It's a billboard for a reason, right there.
So and the BPC 157, I feel like I've always had aches and pains for a very long time in mostly my neck, my shoulders, my back. I feel like it's subsided that just a little bit. Again, I probably shouldn't have. I just recently got on glucosamine. No, glucose. What the hell? I should go look at it. Damn it. I don't know why I can't think of it. I just recently got on it. Let me see.
While you're looking that up, is your doctor's name is not Tim Zahorian, is it?
No.
Okay, good. Because if that's the guy prescribing you anything, stay away from that shit.
Is that the mayor of New York, or who's
No, I'm glad you asked, Nate. Tim Zahorian is the doctor that used to line up the 80s wrestlers and like just provide them with a shit ton of testosterone.
Oh,
and he went
wasn't
to jail.
Wasn't he also Alex Rodriguez's doctor and David Ortiz?
He'd already been in jail before those guys got involved. He was the patsy for Vince McMahon.
Yeah. I actually thought about that as a side hustle here in a couple of years, is maybe doing some low T stuff, and because I can prescribe all that.
Collagen. Sorry, that's what I just got on. Collagen.
Yeah.
Is that the stuff for the lips?
It's for joints, hair, skin. Yeah, it's for a lot of things, but
sounds like biotin.
I throw it in my.
I've noticed a difference in your hair, Nate. Now that you mention it, I can tell. I can really tell you've been doing some work with it.
My eyebrows are going out of control. Honestly.
Yeah, I bet it's the chest hair, man.
Is that what you're
The
shooting
chest
for?
pubes, yeah.
No, I think the
Chest
chest
piece.
here is probably like the Batman insignia, probably perfectly just right
Well,
across your
I
chest.
mean, the hair from my ball fro all the way through my chest pubes is like it's going out of control, man. I'm trimming like twice a week now.
Wow. Wow.
Congratulations.
Appreciate
Good
it.
stuff.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
All right, so let's talk football, and specifically this ridiculous trade that just happened with the Cowboys trading Micah Parsons. They traded him for 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle. The picks are one in 2026 and one in 2027. They end up being basically like, because I think Green Bay is going to be pretty good. They end up being like 2 early second-round picks, which I think, again, just like the Luka Doncic trade coming out of Dallas, like another trade out of Dallas with somebody in their prime that they just gave him away. This guy's pretty good. Like he's a game changer. I think all Jerry Jones did was reduce their chances of getting to the Super Bowl and increase exponentially another team's chances of getting to the Super Bowl with that trade. And he's adamant about saying that it's improving the team. That's what he's all about. I have my own thoughts and theories on it, but why does this help Dallas, do you think? And then why make this trade if you're Dallas? I know why you would on the other end. Like, I'm just surprised at how they did it. Chet, go ahead, since Wally's dropped.
Well, I, for one, believe Jerry Jones when he says this has been a plan since the spring. They couldn't stop the run. And so they've been playing this the whole time. No, fucking stupid. It's the dumbest trade I've ever seen. And so for them to give away this guy, and I think it's a Jerry Jones ego thing. I think ultimately no one is saying that in the mainstream media, but everyone's hinting at it. It's like it's the unsaid thing. It's his ego. He didn't want to go through an agent, so he's showing to the team, no one's above the team, and I'm going to do this, and it's going to make us better. It is so stupid. You get a homegrown guy. The reason you trade for draft picks is that you're hoping to get a guy like Micah Parsons, the guy that you already have, that you developed on your team. I can't make sense of it. And to your point, Nate, they traded him to a team where they're going to get a late first round draft pick 2 years in a row and potentially, like you said, basically early season. Nothing about it makes any sense. I don't know the guy. I'm not overly familiar with the guy they got from Green Bay, the young defender. I think he's a defensive lineman. So I'll be fair and say I don't know that much about him, but otherwise I can't think of a more dumb trade that I've ever seen.
Yeah, to your point, or to answer your question, Kenny Clark had 1 sack last year.
Yep.
He had I think seven in 2023.
Okay.
But 1 last year. But he did have 44 tackles.
Okay.
But again, like we're talking about, again, Micah Parsons has made history in this sense. Since the NFL has been a thing, there are only 29 first-round picks that have made 5 consecutive Pro Bowls in their first 5 years. And he's the only one that will not be with the same team that drafted him. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, to your point with what you said, stopping the run, right? That was one of Jerry Jones's comments at his press conference.
Yep.
He waited, the team specifically, and because he's the GM, he waited until the 200th pick to address stopping the run in the draft. If it was an issue, then it should have been addressed the first couple picks, right? So, like, I do think it's an ego thing, but I think it's more along the lines of, like, yes, we had a deal, we handshook on it, and then I want this guy to talk finances and talk the fine print about it. Like, we need to do that. And, like, I don't know in what world Jerry's living in, as far as there's a reason why the Players Association collectively bargains how to handle these contracts, because yeah, you can handshake that all day long, but it's got to be in fine print. And also, I'm sorry, Micah Parsons does not have the level of business education, not only intellectual education, that Jerry Jones has. when it comes to money and when it comes to business. So it's in his good interest and good faith by the owner / GM to allow that to happen. Like, hey, yeah, and not take it personally. Like, yes, take this deal. You know what? I just happen to have it right here in my back pocket. Here's all the legal documentation that you need. Take this to your agent. If you can get me his email, I'll send it over to him on digits. Well, I don't know what world he's living in where he's upset with that or trying to skip that process, that due process, essentially, that is afforded to players that are put in a position to where, hey, this guy, I actually admire and respect this owner who's a billionaire. And now I feel like I'm kind of forcing myself to accept this verbal contract. You know what I mean?
So I think it speaks a little bit to, like, I think we got a Biden situation going on in Dallas, right? Like, the guys, like, Jerry Jones is kind of out of his head a little bit, right? Like, I don't think we should shy away from this conversation. And the elevator's not going all the way to the top. Somebody's got to take the reins here and let him know that you're no longer capable of making the calls of this magnitude.
I think what Jerry thought was that he was trading Michael Parsons for 2 first round draft picks, not Micah Parsons, the Pro Bowl.
We joke, but like I'm not joking. Like he shouldn't be calling the shots for a major organization anymore. Like he's not. He's got some cognitive decline, and he's put himself in a position where he's surrounded by sycophants, and they just nod along. Yes, Jerry. Yes, Jerry. Yes, Jerry. And he makes terrible calls.
Dude, like, he got up in front of.
Got to step up and take the reins here, or that.
I'm glad.
Or one of the cornerstones of the NFL. Legacy is going to continue to crumble further and further and further. Having said that, like, if they weren't able to sign Micah Parsons, trading him away for a starting defensive tackle and 2 first-round picks isn't a bad trade, right? If you don't think you can re-sign him, and that's what it's going to take, which, like, I don't necessarily buy that argument because you pay premier talent. 2 first-round picks in the NFL is no small haul. Like, that is a legitimate return.
To your point, though, Wally. To your point,
for a guy that you don't know if you can sign.
If his again, you made a comparison to Joe Biden. I remember last year when the CD Lamb contract happened. I said that exact same thing. Do you remember that? I said
No.
I said Jerry Jones is the Joe Biden of the NFL. He is not, as far as owners are concerned. He lives in a world where the rest of us have no idea what that reality is. And it was based off of the contract because he said he saved $20 million by signing CD Lamb when he signed him. But then you save the $20 million. How do you use that $20 million to improve your team? You can't, because free agency signing's done. That's just dead money on your cap that you didn't spend. So you didn't save it and improve the team this year. And also, to your point again, Wally, the whole Biden thing. Do you know that every team in the NFC has made the NFC Championship game since 1995, except the Dallas Cowboys? Every team in the NFC has made it to the NFC Championship game, except the Dallas Cowboys since 1995.
Yeah.
1995 was the last time the Dallas Cowboys were in, and every other team in the NFC has made it, and they have not. Like,
yeah, man, he bought a football team, made himself the president, the GM, and makes every decision for that franchise, and has done it for 40 or 30 years now. Like, it's not a good idea. You need checks and balances. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? And he's had absolute power in that franchise for an unprecedented length of time. Look what happened at the end of the Raiders with Al Davis. They crumbled. Yep. Because he absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is what's happening in Dallas, and it's really sad. And it makes the argument, like, and this kind of ties into the Belichick Jordan conversation from before, right? This is a guy that had unparalleled power in a franchise for 20 years, and now he's dating 24-year-olds.
Yeah, he's definitely a Sith Lord, and
nobody deals in absolutes. Fucks your head up.
He deals in absolutes, you know. through pain. He breaks those chains through
I think
suffering.
what this change of suffering?
It's-
Oh,
it's
I remember.
this-
Yeah,
it's this.
yeah.
It's the Sith.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
I think that as bad as the trade was, the point that you're making about the Bidenism is that he got in front of a group of people and said with a straight face that this can make his team better, and he did it, and they've been thinking about it for a really long time because they haven't been able to stop the run. And he really fucking thinks that somehow people are going to buy that shit. Like that amount of hubris is I don't think I've seen it before, with maybe the exception of Belichick, in like ever. I couldn't believe when he got up there like with a straight face and said that shit. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be better if he goes like, "Hey, we wanted to make a deal. We couldn't make a deal. I don't think Micah handled it well. I didn't respect the way he handled it. I probably could have done better. And unfortunately, we had to make this deal happen. The Dallas Cowboys had to get the best deal. Like to Wally's point, we were in a situation we couldn't sign him. We had to get the best deal possible. I could respect that at least, but for him to get up there and say what he said was such moronic bullshit that like you lose respect.
I'm sorry, I keep talking about my fantasy football team, but they're doing shit that doesn't even make sense. I'm in the 12th
Someone
round,
drafted a
and
kicker?
I can pick for backup quarterbacks. I can either go Drake May, or I can go Dak Prescott, still available. But I can also go with my starting defense in the Eagles, or I can draft Zach Charbonnet as a running back. I think Charbonnet up in Seattle might be the starter in a little bit.
He probably will, because the starter is Walker, and his durability is an issue.
I might take Drake May just for the hell of it.
You should,
I drafted Patrick Mahomes as my starter, and I'm not really sold on him. That's not that crazy, is it?
Well, Wally, listen, I can't respect anybody who takes Drake May in the actual draft. You gotta wait.
As a backup,
available later.
As a backup quarterback.
I'm just guys. I picked Drake May in like the third round in our draft.
I know. I saw you.
I just took him.
I was surprised.
Now I get the wraparound, and I might take Sharp. Do I go with my starting defense in the Eagles, or do I go with a potential starting running back in Zach Charbonnet?
I go potential starting running back. I would.
Yeah, I would take a starting running back over defense. Yep.
I agree. I love this team. These people are idiots, and I've stacked my team.
You love that. By the way, the C squared team, I get Cameron has like 49% of the team, and I have 51%. He forced me to bring on Russell Wilson because he doesn't trust Aaron Rodgers for shit.
You drafted Russell Wilson?
No, he forced me to pick up Russell Wilson because Aaron Rodgers is my second quarterback. And he was like, nope, we need, and all that was the best available was Russell Wilson. He doesn't really care about Russell Wilson, but he just doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. I'll go with it.
I get it.
So why do we think the GM and Jerry Jones decided to trade Micah Parsons, who is a team that a player that probably, all 31 teams would like to have a crack at if you're trading him? Why do we think he did Green Bay? My thought process goes to somebody like let's use this as an example. One outside of the conference, but the one that sticks out to me is like Indianapolis. They have no identity on offense. They don't know if they have a quarterback. They could use some help on defense. They probably don't want to send a bunch of draft picks, not number ones, but like they could probably send a couple players, like maybe a running back like Jonathan Taylor, and then maybe a wide receiver, or take your pick on the roster and then ask for some picks as compensation. But like, I just don't understand why a team like that would not be interested in, or there isn't. Again, it should have been a Herschel Walker. If you were wanting picks, it should have been a Herschel Walker type haul for Micah Parsons, and to a team that's willing to sign him to that large contract, which Green Bay was one of those, but there are several in the league that can afford that. You know what I mean? So just curious what your thoughts are.
Well, I mean,
it's tough to say. It almost makes me feel like there's a piece of the puzzle we're missing. Like it doesn't make sense on a couple different levels. But again, they were going through contract disputes back and forth, and if they didn't think they were able to sign him, wouldn't it be better than, I guess, you get 2 firsts in the starting nose tackle? Like I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense, but it's better than him, I guess, walking away. I don't know what their contract situation was, right? Like they were in a battle about the contract, were they not, Nate?
Yeah, it's been going back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, he wanted, again, Micah wanted an extension last year. And again, the extension, I think we all understand the extension is exactly what it says. I work the rest of my contract, and the extension doesn't kick in until after that. So, but on the top end of the remaining years of my current contract, I get a little, well, I say stipend, but literally they're getting millions and millions of dollars tacked onto it. So you end up saving money because in the first few years, you're under the current contract, you're paying off of the extension. So when it comes to the extension, you shouldn't have to pay as much, right? So that's why you sign them early. And then Micah wanted to do it last year, and they wouldn't do it. And like, if I'm Micah again, like he's maximize your profit, man. Like loyalty be damned, especially when it comes to dealing with somebody in business that I won't say that's sleazy, but you know, Jerry Jones is known for paying players, but like I feel like it's just a publicity stunt. Like he's only doing it at a time frame to where put my name out there right before the season, get the team's name coming out of everybody's mouth. Let's get the social media hits. Let's get the hashtags. Like it seems really icky the way that they're dealing with players lately.
Very icky. Very icky.
Yeah. All right. We can well, Wally wanted to talk. We'll talk Jabril Peppers after your draft's over.
No,
what else do you want to talk about?
It just kind of caught me off guard. Like I feel like he was a really above average safety for the last few years for us. And to go through the first round cuts and just cut him outright, like I feel like he's got talent. We're not a good enough team to be cutting players of that ability. This is not a slouch. And part of me wonders if it's felt like a little bit with Vrabel that he continues to get rid of guys from the old regime, regardless of their ability to impact our current team, just because he wants his people in, which concerns me a little bit now. Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but this cut doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I agree. I'm not really sure why. I don't know why you fill the 53 man, keeping him, and then 2 days later cut him, unless it's a disciplinary thing. Like maybe something happened that we don't, or was he the one that had a legal issue where he was last year during the offseason, he was arrested? Was that him or somebody else? It was somebody on the defense that had a domestic dispute.
No, it was arrested for domestic. Like something in the airport. They got caught with something in the airport. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. But anyway, again, if it feels like disciplinary because of the way that it went down. You didn't get cut initially. You made the 53, and then 2 days later, you get cut. Like it feels like what was his name? The running back, something Gray, like a Bill Belichick.
Had 4 touchdowns and
cut him the next week after he scored 4 touchdowns. Yeah, so it feels a little bit like that, but I don't know what's behind it. But I agree with you, Wally. We need all the good players that we can get, and we'll be picking somebody up. I don't know if it's going to be a safety, but we'll be picking somebody up to fill his roster spot, or calling somebody up from the practice squad. What?
You know who we're not picking up to fill a roster spot? Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I really wish the Patriots would have gotten involved in that. Yeah,
me too.
Absolutely.
Me too. But I'll say this:
can we talk about what matters now?
Yeah, your draft. Let's go.
No, the male cheerleaders the New England male cheerleaders.
Are there male cheerleaders in New England now? Is that a real thing?
Somebody told. Was it somebody on our chat? Tim. I think it was Tim that brought that up. Somebody brought it up.
I know that there's male cheerleaders in like Minnesota. I didn't know that it was. And there's a few. I didn't think that we were one of them. Are we? Are we one of the teams that have
male cheerleader? So I'm here.
Yeah. Are we? Is New England one of the teams that have male cheerleaders?
I think so. Yeah.
Somebody brought it up on our text thread, I thought.
That was me. Yeah, so it's the Ravens, the Rams, the Vikings, Pats. Now, the ones that they have been highlighting, yeah. I mean, you got the male cheerleaders who can shoulder press 300 pounds with one arm, who are lifting up the cheerleaders. These aren't those. These are essentially skinny, effervescent, shall we say, men who are doing the same moves and torquing and pelvic thrusting and all that as the females. So anyway, I was just my first question when I saw this was there a hue and cry from New England Patriots fans for this kind of addition to the cheering squad, or what problem was this solving in the New England Patriots cheerleading squad? Is there an answer to that?
Well, my first question is for you, Tim, and I want you to know my heart goes out to you. I am sorry you did not make the Denver Broncos cheer team.
Well,
I see that's what's driving this issue that you have.
It's those pesky 10 pounds in between my thighs that I just cannot get rid of.
I would say you probably don't look really good in those shorts either, but
well,
I know I wouldn't.
Most of us would. Most of us would not. Nor would I attempt it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your condolences.
I guess I'll take a stab at answering that. As a New England fan, I don't really care one way or the other. Like, I don't watch football for the cheerleaders. I can't remember a time where I've even in the last 15 years commented on the cheerleaders. Outside of, there was a girl from Franklin, the Til'ton Franklin. I worked with a mother who was a cheerleader for the New England Patriots for a couple years. It's kind of a big deal. So, like, from that perspective, I talk about her. But outside of that, it doesn't really make a difference to me one way or the other. I think it might be an extension of this whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, because they're trying to tap into new demographics. They see how successful bringing aboard Swifties was for their numbers, because I think you'll find that when she was at games, her followers followed her. And so it kind of speaks to Nate's conversation about the halftime show and them trying to increase the demographics. As a diehard football fan, and I'm a diehard New England fan. I can argue them with anybody. I've been following them religiously for 30 years. I'm a legitimate fan. I don't give a shit. I don't care if Santa Claus is out shaking his ass. I'm pissed off if they're losing. I'm excited if they're winning, and I don't watch 1 second of the cheerleaders. They're trying to tap into people that aren't me, aren't us. It doesn't affect me in any capacity. I don't care.
So is that?
I'm disappointed to hear you say you don't care, because here's my view on it. If you guys want to listen to it, is I'm all about equality, but I feel like on the flip side, like I want women to, if they want to do a man's job, if they want to be our equals and try to, I'm all about them trying if they want to. But I don't want to see the reverse. I don't want to see a man or someone that identifies as a male try and be something like a woman and move into their professional fields. Like, I just don't want to see that. And so that's where I draw the line. And I will say,
what do you consider to be their professional fields? So what fields are off limits for men? Just so we can make a list of it real quick.
Nursing, Nate? Is that what you're going to say?
Is it going to be nursing?
No, I just think
where it's going.
I'm mostly referring to dancing and strippers, mostly. But
dancing and strippers?
I just don't want to see a guy doing.
You don't want to see it, but there's probably a segment of the population that does, right?
Well, Wally, you're the one that doesn't give a shit, but I am a guy that gives a shit. But a female can't watch a male shake his ass?
No,
Wally, just like you. You said you don't give a shit. That's fine. That's you. You do you. But I can have my own opinion and not want to see that and not want it.
Your opinion is because you don't want to watch it, it shouldn't exist.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said I disagree
I
with
think
it.
that's what you
I
just
didn't-
said.
That is not what I just said, Wally.
All right, so tell me where I was wrong, please.
I just muted him.
That was great.
Did he leave?
I would I would side with you. I mean, I don't really watch football that much anyway. But when it comes to, I want to see men do men things and women do women things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch two women fight in the ring. I won't watch it. I don't want to see a man shaking his little tush, as tight as it may be, on the half field line with the other cheerleaders. I just don't want to see it. Would that change? I mean, I can't remember ever seeing cheerleaders on TV very much anyway when I'm watching a football game. So it's not like they have a camera,
Yeah.
it's a picture in picture with the cheerleaders all the time. But if I were you and I were as invested in football, I don't think it would change my watching football because
No, it doesn't change it. Yeah.
it would be kind of an eye roll for me, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. I just want to watch football. But I think there's a cringe factor. There's an ick factor.
That's a good term. I was going to use that as well. Cringe.
Yeah. And I don't. It seems like a pandering kind of move. I don't respect it. So I guess that's my.
Yeah, no, I want to sort of help segue that because the question you had asked is what problem does this solve? And I don't think it solves a problem. I think Wally put it really, really well. It's basic arithmetic. We live in a capitalist society. So if you live in a capitalist society and the number one goal, no matter what, no matter your religion, no matter your ethics, no matter your values, if the number one goal is to maximize your capital, they look at a guy like Wally, a guy like Nate, a guy like me, and they go, if they eye roll,
Alpha male. No, sorry, I didn't mean to put words in your mouth.
That would be wrong. He said your name, Wally. That's not alpha.
So we watch football no matter what, and maybe we have an eye roll or whatever, but we're not going to leave because of that. They're looking at it as like we're going to have a lot less people leave than we'll have people come in. Like there was a super controversial Super Bowl halftime show. I think it was who's the hips don't lie person? Who is that?
Shakira.
Shakira.
So there was that one, and you had a couple people on Facebook be like, if I wanted to watch Telemundo, I would have watched the Spanish channel or whatever. Like a couple of people did that, but for the most part, everyone
if you say out loud, who's the hips don't lie person? You didn't grow up the same time I did. Like,
I tell you,
fuck?
as a side note,
who's the hips don't lie girl?
I just forgot the name for a second. For Christ's sake.
So as a side note,
Are you upset because he didn't know it or because he used that term, Wally?
Who's the hips don't lie? Like, you don't know Shakira? Like, Shakira's video from the early 90s is one of the hottest things I've ever watched to this day.
No,
so when I was watching that halftime show, I've been in medicine for quite some time, and I know that women over 50, there's a 50% chance that half of them have stress incontinence. So when I'm watching two women over 50 doing those things, I'm like, there's a 25% chance there's urine somewhere on those jeans up there on stage. That's all I can think about.
Yeah, because that's the world you live in because you understand it like very, very well. I get that.
Stress incontinence. My wife can't go on a trampoline without, it's like, you have kids. That's what happens, right? So,
I mean, Tim, I could barely stand here right now without stress incontinence.
Doesn't lessen the desire. Like, doesn't change anything for me. I'm still interested, 100%.
You like the golden shower, Wally.
This is less appealing to women. Stress incontinence, we still love you.
Yeah. But it happens. Of course it happens. The thing is, it's this sort of perpetual youth thing where I'm 54 and I'm going to be a sex symbol. Anyway.
No, I hear.
I feel like I've got to clarify.
My back hurts. My back hurts. I don't know why.
I feel like Wally's attacking me for my opinion. So again, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. That doesn't mean that it can't exist. I just don't want to see it. So
fair enough.
But that's the same with you. That's the same with you, where you say you don't give a shit and it doesn't affect you. Like, that's you. That is your opinion. It doesn't affect me either. I just don't want to see it. Like if there's a chance where my seats are in front of the cheerleaders and there's male cheerleaders, like I was thinking of the word cringe because I'll tell you a story after this, but like it's when you have a man, for me, when I see a man doing things that a woman should do or acting as potentially saying that they identify as a woman, a man is a man, all male parts, hair, wearing female clothing or wearing subjective clothing that a female would wear, I have a cringe factor about seeing that. Does it mean that I think that shouldn't exist and that person is wrong? No, I don't like seeing it because it does make me uncomfortable because I'm not used to that yet. You can identify as whatever you want. I feel like I'd have the same cringe effect if I saw a human dress as a cat and they identify as a cat. Like, that would be cringe for me. A grown adult dressed as a cat, meowing, licking milk out of a bowl, like that would make me cringe, right? So
I think this is morphed into an entirely different conversation altogether.
You looked it there, Wally.
Of course, bring it there.
Yes, no, you're innocent. You're innocent in this. I'm sorry. You're right.
I love
what are we talking about here?
Nothing. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm kind of taken aback. I think this is a topic in and to itself, if I'm being honest with you. Like, it's hard to dabble in here kind of from the way we went about it. We were talking about cheerleaders and male cheerleaders, and now you've turned it into a.
Here's the thing. Do you remember the NFL, the advertisement they had a few years ago? NFL is gay. Do you remember that?
No.
No.
I don't.
You don't?
It wasn't very popular.
During the Super Bowl, these big games, it said the NFL is, and all these things, and it said the NFL is gay. That's kind of what it ended on. And so it was a similar kind of thing. Whatever you think about that, it was an opportunity to queer NFL, to make it into something that is not necessarily just strictly masculine. And so it is, I think it would be a mistake to think that there isn't some kind of intention here, or was some kind of intention to alter the game.
Or couldn't it also be to just broaden the circle? Right? Couldn't that also be just like, by including other people doesn't take away from the core of its fans? Like, my masculinity is not affected by the NFL including trans or gay or other people. It doesn't affect my fandom and my desire to include it. Their enjoyment of the game doesn't lessen mine.
I think people said the same thing about gay marriage 15 years ago, as you're saying.
Well, to the point again, like, we'll go back to the reason why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
Male cheerleaders have existed in college since its existence, right? And they're dressed in long pants or shorts and a t-shirt or a crew cut or something, right? They're not wearing the same uniforms as the female cheerleaders. And they are, to your point earlier, Tim, they are bases, right? They hold and lift and toss the cheerleaders in the air so they can do their aerial stunts, right? I've never had an issue with that. Like, those dudes, mad respect to them. I don't care about their sexuality. It's when I see, again, a male figure wearing something very similar to what a female cheerleader would wear. It's cringe to me, and that's the issue that I have with it. And that's why I would say I don't like it, but it's not going to stop me from buying a ticket and seeing a game, going to the game in person. I'm not,
Yeah.
Wally has his opinion. I have mine. I also don't necessarily give a shit about it, but I'm going to voice my opinion since I was asked.
Yeah. I agree that it's not, I don't think it's, what kind of effect would it have? Is there any way to measure what kind of, I mean, maybe if the demographic is broadens to include a certain, subset of people. But yeah, I don't personally, I'm going to still watch the Super Bowl. I'm still, it's not going to change me watching football, but yeah.
I mean, it could make the NBA introduce male cheerleaders as well. Like, that's a real thing too. That's another sport that has a lot of publicity, that is on TV a lot, and the cheerleaders are on a lot. So it could have that effect on them. I mean,
yeah. And I think in fairness, like you look at ballroom dancing or America's Got Talent and all these other like dancing shows, there are men dancing all throughout them that are getting huge ratings and that people follow in droves, whether it be America's, you know the ones. I don't know the names of any of these shows, but you know what I'm talking about. Like in all these talent shows that show men dancing in tights, and men that people watch for the artistic value, because there is value in that. Like in the athletic ability.
Are you trying to compare the two? Are you saying they're the same?
Yes, man. I am absolutely trying to compare the two.
No, Wally. I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can stand on 10 toes right now.
So now my opinion's not worth listening to, huh?
I don't say how you can compare them.
Well, listen, hypocrite. Go ahead. No, please. I apologize.
Let me mute you since I'm being hypocritical.
Let me side with Nate on this one. There is
weird. Chat, where the fuck are you here, pal? You want to chime in?
Well,
I'm working my way through.
This is too hot a topic for him.
In dancing, you have a masculine and a feminine role. The male leads and the female follows. And so, and I actually said for a while, I actually wrote something on the topic where ballet is the last vestiges of masculinity, which is very ironic. But I talked to a ballet dancer one time in Florida when we lived there, and he was describing how the male dancer, even though he's decked out in all full regalia and the tights and all that, and he's got the dance belt with the package in front, and he said the role of the man on stage is to create a calm, so that the woman so her grace and beauty can be exhibited. And I was like, that right there is probably the most beautiful picture I can think of how the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine interact. Even though it's in this allegedly, effeminate, female dominated thing, you have these men who create a calm and bring a strength to the stage. So I think there really is a difference.
I get that.
I agree with that. Take that guy and put him at the 50-yard line of the Patriots game, and how would he be perceived?
Well,
if he's wearing the same thing the female cheerleaders are wearing, then the perception changes. Yeah, he's wearing his outfit. When we're talking about a male-female combination of a dance team, whether it's on an ice rink in the Olympics, there is a very diversity. There's a lot of diversity between the two outfits that discern a male figure and a female figure. So there isn't there. The comparison doesn't exist there, in my opinion.
If you were going to compare it, you would say, well, if you move it to the field, the male is the base and the female is the flyer, right? It's that to say otherwise would be a category error.
And the uniform is different. That is the issue. Again, the pictures that I think you might have sent, Tim, and all the pictures that I've seen, the uniform is not that much different. That is what where the cringe factor comes in. And
so I haven't seen it. Do you have can you get a picture?
Oh, you're still on, Chet? Oh, okay. You're still on.
Middleman Chet.
Yeah, come on in and make us both feel better.
Christ. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll say this much. This last bastion of masculinity you're talking about, Tim, all these ballerina dudes. I went to college, was a theater major, and realized most of those ballerina dudes are probably gay. So I'm gonna start there. If you guys want me to start throwing punches, there it fucking is, right there.
I still remember. I don't know what his name was. I'm gonna have to mention it. But the guy who did like the Who's Tom, and he had like crossed eyes and he would spit when he talked. Remember? Do you remember that guy?
I don't remember that.
He was one of the main actors. He's one of the main actors in one of Chet's. He was Chet's friend, and he had like this weird crossed
one
eye.
Of his plays, I got you.
But he was so expressive that he would like spit when he spoke, and it was just like.
What did he do? Ballet, Chet?
No, but he was pretty gay, I think.
No,
Chet, do you know who he's talking about?
I do. Will I
Is
say
he
that
still
loud?
with us? Is he still alive?
Are you still friends with him?
Oh, I've lost contact with almost everybody from there, with the exception of probably Wes and a select few others. Yeah.
Are you friends with any of the Storyland folk, the Santa's Village folk?
Yep. My buddy Harry is still. He was still around for a while, so just him though for the most part. But he actually moved to Manchester, and I was like, "What? You're in Manchester?" He was more of a New York City guy, Bronx guy. Then he moved here.
Yeah.
So we would get together and then
Union
and over. So
that was a great summer.
When you and Jeff came, by the way, Tim, you've got to get with us if we do Wells next year. Like it was the four of us. You got to get over there.
Wells Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Maine. Yeah,
that's in Maine, right?
We had a good time.
You know, I would love my kid's a little bit older. I would love to be able to try and sneak out for 4 or 5 days. So let me know for sure and I'll see if I can. Would love to see. Obviously, my family lives out there too. So
yeah, it was.
That'd be cool.
Just the dudes. I dove into a wave, Tim.
A real one.
Yeah, a real one.
Dove into a real one before. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, it was one of the kiddie waves, but like, so maybe it wasn't real, but it was more like it wasn't really a wave. It was more like just the water moving a little bit.
Well, Jeff was my counselor. He's like, "Hey, check this out. Like, check this out."
Did you have a hard time getting under the water with your water wings on?
No, they were helpful to bring me back up, and I looked majestic, like a ballerina almost. Really.
Huh.
That's called a
They were the same color. They were the same color as his skin, so it looked like he just had big biceps.
Looked like. I beg your pardon.
Here it comes. Let's see it.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Can't ruin the podcast.
All right.
All right. So, what's the next topic? What do we want to talk about? I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else. Nothing else.
Nothing else
struck my interest. Nothing struck my interest this week.
Oh, I got one. You haven't seen it, so like maybe it's more like for us to talk about next time. But I started watching just recently this documentary called Stans. And it's about Eminem fans, but it's beyond Eminem. Like people who get super obsessed with like one celebrity, and it reminds me of idolatry. I've never felt good. Like the Shawn Michaels thing, we make fun of, but like I don't ever want to meet the guy. I could give a shit to ever meet him. But like there are some fans out there who see a famous person, and they get so obsessed with them that they become like it's almost like they become who they are, or they don't see themselves outside of that celebrity. And I would actually like to talk about that sometime because that's a tale as old as time, but people forget that it was called idolatry, and now it's just called Stans because of an Eminem song. But I thought that was very interesting. We should talk about that. But like right now may not be the right time, but look into it.
Can you use Stans in a sentence? So
you can. There was this person that I'm standing out on Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm a stand for Taylor Swift.
Are you standing on business?
I think
it doesn't work.
Taken
it doesn't
from
work
Eminem's song "Stand."
It's coming from the Eminem song "Stand," which is about who's obsessed with
It
him.
was about an obsessed
Yeah,
fan.
Stan,
who,
yeah.
But in
Stan.
2017, it actually went into the official dictionary as a word. So it was like
Huh.
Yeah.
started watching it because I liked Eminem, fine. But when I started watching the documentary, it was way less about Eminem and way more about like the culture and Stan. So we should actually put that on the list. Look,
Well, it extends beyond pop culture, right? Like I think there's a certain segment of our population that's politically similar, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just stands for Trump or they're stands for Camilla or you know what I mean? And their entire identity's tied up into their political affiliation, which is
I saw this guy today.
very, very, very scary.
I saw this guy. This is why I'm okay. I'm okay being called middleman Chet, actually, because I really am. Like, I can see both sides of almost every argument and like kind of find a way into the middle without losing my shit. There's a guy that I talk to really cool guy. I offered to help him. Like, he's putting a thing on his house, like an addition. And I was like, don't ask me to think. But similar to you, Oliver, it's like, I can come over, I can lift things up, put them down for you. Like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Offered that to him, and I saw this thing where he's like, notice how the liberals, it was literally after the Annunciation Church fire, like that whole situation, which is so sad and so awful.
Oh, yeah.
His first response was, notice how the liberals never said anything about gun control when Trump was shot at. And I was like, dude, what? Like, what? Right now you're going to say that is true. That might be true, but at the same time, is that the right time to point that out? Like, that's my point. It's like, people get so focused on this, like, it's a stand culture thing.
And similarly, I've seen memes to the effect of like, look at all we know about this shooter, and what do we still know about Trump shooter? Almost nothing, right? Like,
yeah. So you could see it the other way, like, oh, big conspiracy, right? Like you could, depending on what you believe and how solid you are,
right?
Like, I still like
and where you're getting your news from.
I still like to believe that I can be swayed one way or the other on basic facts and evidence. And this whole idea of a stand is that, like, you're so focused on you're so narrowly, myopically focused on this one thing that there's literally nothing that could pull you away from it, whether it's a focus on a celebrity or, to Raleigh's point, a focus on like one political view or one religious view or one value view, whatever it is. And so I think it's an interesting conversation for us to have anytime.
Well, so how do you?
And this is you should develop that topic.
How do you obviously have political priors or biases that you see the world through, assumptions that you make, that we all make,
Yeah.
How do you account for that in when you're doing the accounting sheet and here's what happened, here's what I hear, here's what my dispositions to believe this or that thing. How do you factor that out, or do you factor it out, or should we factor it out?
Yeah. So I've had, you might call it a bad thing, but growing up with the influence that I had then, I don't know how you guys deal with that in your own lives, but I had to clearly find a way out of that influence, which is like, do drugs, drink as much as possible, fight people, hate cops. That was my upbringing. So to find my way out of that took a little bit of mental fortitude and admitting that, my pride has to go to the side sometimes and accept education. But then you continue to accept education. I remember watching a few things in grad school at Northeastern. Obviously, they're incredibly liberal leaning. And so I remember learning things there, accepting that as truth, and then having new experiences in life, like, oh, maybe that's not all truth. Wally, by the way, is one of the people that helped me be like, hey, Wally, you're liberal, right? Like, you would still consider yourself liberal?
Yeah, I would consider myself liberal, yeah.
Yeah. But even you sometimes look at me and be like, dude, that's a little too far. Like, chill it. And I would listen to you and be like, okay, so where am I going wrong here? It's just the ability to believe that, like, I don't have it all figured out. I probably never will. And I will always try to figure it out independently, hear from all these different places, and have independent thought rather than look at this one person told me this thing, so now I'm going to believe it. Or this one person told me this one thing, so now I'm going to believe it. And it's really served me well as I navigate the world alone without any role models or like mentors. I navigate alone. You guys excluded. You guys do all influence me, but that's my point. It's like I figure these things out, and I think what you're asking, Tim, is like, how do I navigate it, right? I give everything equal measure unless it makes no sense. If I decide it makes no sense to me, I then move on from it, but I don't just dismiss it outright at first. other than things that will, there's one thing. If it hurts somebody else for no reason, I dismiss it outright.
Hmm.
That's my thinking. That's my psychology.
Okay. So, but when you get down to a topic, let's use an obvious one, like abortion or some kind of thing. Not that we have to get into that. Just as an example, you have some assumptions that you take for granted about what is right or wrong, and through those assumptions, you view a particular topic like abortion or whatever, some of these other hot button topics. So I guess my question is how does one how do you think we arrive at that place? Is that what really differentiates the way that we see things differently? You know, is that the seed from which all of our differences kind of grow?
Potentially. And I think fundamentally, when you say assumptions, I would say at 46-year-old, they are developed opinions, for me anyway, that take into account a lot of different factors, right? So at this point, one of the reasons you guys all call me middleman Chet is because I'm like, man, and whoever coined that, by the way, that's great shit. That's great shit.
I just called it to you. I called you that once.
That's great stuff. But we're gonna go with it because
I
like
apologize. It feels like it might have hit, and I apologize.
I'm
My
kind of
intent
proud of it.
wasn't to make it stick.
I'm kind of proud of it though. I'm kind of proud of it because if someone can get it, honestly, if someone at this point can get me to be 100% like with them on something, then you got to know like I'm willing to give up everything. And God damn, if you guys can find a way to get me to give up on everything, then you found something that I truly believe in. But right now, I'm like, all these people believe in different things. Every election, half the people are mad, half the people are angry. And I just wonder how that matters for my family, for my friends, and ultimately how it affects the world going forward. And that's a lot to think about because there's so many factors that go into that. And I used to be a very arrogant person who believed that I knew exactly what it should be and how it should go. And I no longer am willing to believe that I know everything. Not even close. And that does help. I think that does serve me well to navigate through.
So it is. I mean, it's a given that is after any kind of shooting, there's going to be all the political talk, right? Instantly.
Sure.
So is there a moratorium? Should there be a few days before we start jumping in on this? Or because it seems like the news cycle moves so fast, if it's not, it's going to be gone next week, essentially.
Well, I mean, I can tell you what's going to happen. This happened. Let's get some gun control, thoughts and prayers. Fuck your thoughts and prayers. Let's move on to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting married. Here you go. Now we figured out the news cycle, basically.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Now I get involved in their silence. Okay.
Yeah, we are an extremely distractible group of humans. So yes.
I like shiny things.
Do we need more gun control laws, Chet?
I think it would be interesting to explore this idea more, maybe tonight since it's a little bit later. But what are the things? Because it seems like on one side you have, well, it's the guns, it's the frequency and availability of guns that is the real problem, and the other side who says it's not that, it is the people behind the guns and the ways that we have manufactured society that create people who want to use the guns in this way. And the lines obviously are not that crisp.
Yeah.
But generally, it seems like those are the two groups that they fall into.
And I would argue that there's a third group that is the majority of people in the middle that say, you know what, maybe it's a little bit of both. Like I can kind of see both sides of this argument, and I think the solution might be multifaceted, and it might involve some compromise in the middle.
Yeah.
And you would be in that. And you would be in that group.
I think I would be. Yeah, I'm a gun owner. I believe in gun rights. Like yes, absolutely.
Are you sure you're liberal? You sound more libertarian.
Yeah, perhaps I am. I'm liberal. I did not say I was a Democrat. I think I'm more liberal leaning. But I think that I'm in the middle. I think I'm in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Nate?
I believe there needs to be. I don't know if gun control is a thing that I think there needs to be more of. I'd like to think if the right people have guns, then the people that are gonna get a gun and do a wrong thing, meaning if I can open carry every one of those guns on someone's hip, just like a police officer in uniform with a gun on their hip, is a deterrent. So I'm not saying that everybody should. I'm saying I don't think laws to control guns are the issue. I think
Yeah.
it is just like anything else. You can outlaw drugs. Drugs still happen to be very prevalent in our society, and we can access them in any way that we want, and we can find them anywhere we want. Guns, I don't think are that prevalent. Like I'm not comparing the two, but again, I think if somebody wants to find one to do wrong, they don't need to express that intent. They will find a gun, and then they will do some harm. And I'm a firm believer that the more people that have guns, that you don't even need to brandish it. It doesn't need to be out. But the days of us having guns in our truck, like in the back window, those are gone for whatever reason. But even here in Texas, but I felt like that's a deterrent. Like there's a weapon there, and it also might be a way that somebody would access, meaning a crime can happen to possess that, right? To steal it. But as a criminal, I'm
can I
not
ask
going
a question about this? And this is a genuine question. This is something I struggle with. Is that like
you can interrupt with your question?
I agree with all that. Like, and I agree with the fact that people should have the weapons to defend themselves and protect their family. But I also think that all around me, I see people struggling with mental health at a very high level, right? And I think oftentimes the people who are making these shootings are people that have significant red flags all along the way. And shouldn't there be a mechanism by which to be able to say, like, quite clearly, that's a person in distress, and maybe they shouldn't have access to a large arsenal of automatic weapons? Well, that the rest of us can defend ourselves. Isn't there a red flag somewhere? Shouldn't there be a way by which to say, like, let's protect ourselves from that person? And so if we can focus on that, I think that's an area that most people I know that can coalesce around, because I see it all the time. I see it all the time.
What would you propose? What would
Here's
you propose
a-
then, Wally?
I want to interpose an anecdote here. So this is a couple years ago when I was working in the ER, and a guy came in, and I think that he's brought in by police, and he was saying, I'm going to shoot up whatever school or church or something like that. It was documented, right? This is what he said. And so I went to the behavioral health counselor, and I said, so I know that there are red flag laws for people like this. So they can't buy guns when they do things like this or say things like this. He just said this. So clearly there should be red flags on a guy like this, so he can't purchase guns. How do we get this information to the authorities and get him red flagged? Mm-hmm. And they said, that's HIPAA violation. You can't do that. So the people who are saying, I'm going to shoot this or that place, they go to the ER. Presumably there's quite a number of people who do that because the ER is repository, but there is a complete disconnect, a legal disconnect. You cannot red flag people for things they say in the ER because it's HIPAA. I mean, like, okay, I understand, but I mean, like, there it is right there. You have right? I mean,
there's an area that I think common sense people can say, like, okay, let's address that, right? Because let's address that. I also think of, like, we've had this conversation a couple of different times, and I feel like I bring it back to the same conversation. But a guy by the name of Robert Card in Maine was an ex-soldier who his command structure said, that guy's not safe. He's going through they took his guns away. They put him on whatever the administrative review is for people undergoing mental health crisis. He did not have access in the military to these weapons. But as a civilian, he went out, grabbed a gun, and killed 18 people in Maine. Like, shouldn't there be a way by which we communicate that says when people are in distress
Right.
and have access to large capacity arsenals, we need to do something about that. That's a common sense, right? Like, let's start there. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. To me, that is a common sense control to me. I was
does make
flabbergasted
sense.
when I heard this. Like
Kim, you should do it anyway. I'm
Do it
sure you
anyway.
find. I'm not going to call you out, but I know that in my field, when I find something out that I know is like genuinely dangerous, there might be ways,
that certain people, yeah, right. I mean, there might be workarounds, but the fact that there has to be is stupid.
I know that sucks. I
Yeah,
agree. That
agreed.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the fact that something like that is still going to fall under the category because there isn't another category, but it will fall under the category of gun control laws or regulations or something. I think probably what needs to happen is we call it something else. I don't know what do you call it? Not we could even just say gun regulations. I don't know.
There might
Weapon
be.
regulations. I don't know.
But-
But when you start using the word control, I feel like that's where
Well, and the
people are
thing
like,
is-
no, this is my property. You
Well,
cannot. I
right.
possess it. You cannot
Wait.
control it.
Hey. Oh, go ahead.
Well, the point that I was going to make is gun control laws presumably are something with purchasing them. We already have more guns than there are humans in America. So it's like, your grandmother has 30 cats and you're going to like, we need to have some common sense cat control to prohibit your grandmother from buying cats. She already has 30 of them. So that's not the issue with buying. So I mean that in some ways what do you have to do now that you have just cats everywhere? How do you control this as opposed to saying, oh, we're just going to prohibit them from buying more cats? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things going on there. So I think necessarily that, not that you can't have those kind of, controls for who can purchase and such, but
Yeah.
I think you have to turn and look at this mental health idea and where that comes from and the fracture of the family and all the things that are the upstream from that.
Let me stress the
Well
The
said.
thought
Well
that-
said. I agree wholeheartedly. Sorry.
You gonna silence him again last time?
He's done it 3 times to me already, so I'm not really that sorry. But go ahead, Nate.
well, next. What's next?
I'll say this: social control. I've found social control works incredibly well. Prohibition.
Social control, like Mao Zedong.
It works out really well. Prohibition, especially. Whenever you try to control too many people and you throw a law on, it's likely not going to work out the way you plan. So it's really more about understanding that you have a number of people who want individual freedoms, and how do you manage that in the best way possible? And that's not an easy task. So it's whenever you try to control, like to Nate's point. Nate made a good point. Gun control, alcohol prohibition. You say you can't do or don't do to anybody. One of the first things they're going to want to do is that thing. So you just got to be careful about how you phrase it and how you present it. Is all that's kind of what I was saying about that.
Right. I mean, it's a trope. Anytime there's Obama or Biden or whoever comes out with some, like, we're going to have common sense gun control, the NRA should give them a medal for the best selling rifle salesman, and that is what sells weapons. You could probably track every time somebody comes out, there's a huge spike in the amount of guns that are purchased. I mean, I know that because I've done it. I lost them all in voting accidents, sadly, but I still stands.
Oh, that's tragic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear it. Wink,
I'm still
wink.
broken up about it.
To your point, though, Tim, about the number of weapons that we have, which outnumbers the amount of people that we have in this country, right? Like, if we look at that as a statistic, and I agree that there's no need for any of these mass shootings; they should never happen. But when we look at it as a number, that one weapon, based off of how many there are, and based off of how many people that there are in the United States. Although this is happening, it is still a very small number. So should we spend a ridiculous amount of money, time, manpowers trying to fix the 1%? Or it's even smaller than 1% if we put a number on it, do the math. Again, I don't want to see any of this happen. Guns don't belong in the wrong people's hands, but sometimes you don't know who the wrong people are. It's hard to identify. To Wally's point with what he said, like where you kind of just said he got a weapon somewhere. I don't know the story where he got the weapon. It's kind of irrelevant. He got the weapon, whether it was a crime that he committed to get the weapon, whether the weapon was stuffed in between the seats in his house, in the cushions in his house. I don't know where that was, but I feel like that individual, because of things that happened in the military, and I know I've been a part of those, where we take weapons away from people that have mental health issues. There was either a weapon hidden or a weapon obtained illegally that helped that individual do the terrible thing that he did. It wasn't like he walked into the military and got the weapon that he was issued and got some ammo and then went to town. So I mean, again, to my point where, yeah, there are a lot of weapons. I do think that if we as responsible individuals, and I have a concealed handgun license, and I very rarely carry. I don't put it on my person. It's in my truck. Sometimes it's in a bag that I'm carrying, depending on where I'm at. And I'm cognizant of where I can and cannot legally take that weapon with me. Like I can't take it into a bar. That's a law here in Texas. The 51% law, 51% of their profits are based off of alcohol. You're not allowed to take it into that establishment. You can't take it into federal buildings, some of the state buildings, etc. So there's a limit to what you can do. But again, I do feel just like a police officer wearing their uniform, it's a deterrent. Like you see somebody with a weapon, like you don't want to make the mistake of misjudging that they're a soft target and then end up being killed, especially if you're trying to do harm to other innocent people. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm an advocate of getting teachers trained on handguns and having handguns in the class accessible, whether that's by biometric safe. That doesn't mean open carry, Wally. Don't let your conservative ass get all exasperated. Like I don't want my kids around it either. But the truth of the matter is I don't want them to be in a situation where someone is not defending them. That's the problem.
So Nate, I agree with you on the day-to-day deterrent part, right? I do. I actually really do. It's like if people were, but these motherfuckers who go into the school systems who literally prey on the innocent, more times than not, they shoot themselves. So they are already decided this is going to be their last day, and they're going to go in there and they're going to make their point, whatever the fuck crazy shit ass point they're trying to make is, and then they shoot themselves. So I get the deterrent factor as far as like, I'm mad today. I just had a fight with my wife. I'm going to go shoot some shit up. Like I get that. Like don't go after the wrong people. But usually the people that go in there and do a mass shooting, they already do not value their own life. They're at a point mentally where they are so fucked that they are going to take their own life at the end, which happens more often than not. The teacher thing, oh, that one, my wife is a teacher, as you know, and so that's come up.
I'm not saying every. See, you guys parse my words and take a little bit out of it. Well, I'm not saying arm every teacher and every school needs to have an armory with a weapons lock and ammunition. That's not what I'm saying. I'm going in the same direction that he's going, which is my point. Like, don't take it into that context. I don't want your wife to be trained with a firearm if she does not want to. But I do believe that a school system, if a teacher wants to obtain that training and carry in a biometric safe in their classroom, have a weapon accessible, like I think that should be, they should be able to. Now, what could a school system do something other than that? Meaning have armed security and they within the school system and they monitor each entry point to that building. That's an alternative as well. But again, I still think if there are more responsible people, now I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chet, but let's put it this way. Let's say I'm a teacher in second grade and I own a firearm, but maybe I don't have it on them, but they don't know that, right? And they come into my school. Which direction, if they know me, which direction are they going in?
Not your direction.
Yeah. And again, I want that deterrent to exist in every one of the classrooms that young kids
what they
walk
did
into.
on the airplanes when they basically said we're gonna have federal marshals, they're gonna be plain clothed, like that kind of thing. I agree with you about that. So like that's what I was saying was like my wife has no business with she's terrified already of this shit happening in the school all the time. But to my point, if you're saying like let's get some teachers who are willing so that everyone knows and they don't know which teacher it is. It could be like the small 5'2" female who's like 100 pounds, but she's ready to blow your fucking head off, and everyone knows it. I can
get
see
the dirty
that,
area.
yeah, like exactly, like on the airplanes, like that's a deterrent. I think, like if you're gonna go be a terrorist on an airplane, first of all, we have great security now. It sucks to go to the airport. Everyone knows it, but they also know there's federal marshals on certain planes. You don't know which one's which, that kind of thing. I can see that. That's what I was
So
trying to
can I ask you a question? This is a genuine question. Do you think that teacher, Betty Smith from Peoria, Illinois, is more likely to use that gun to shoot a bad guy, or is she more likely to use that gun and shoot an innocent person, or have that gun used to shoot an innocent person, statistically speaking? I don't know the answer to that.
Are you asking me? Are you asking me? Who are you asking?
I'm asking that's a general question.
I'll answer when you finish your thought.
That gun would be used. It would be more likely used in an inappropriate manner than it would be used for a school teacher with her limited training. And I'm not even saying that someone steals the gun. Say there is a shooter and she pulls that gun out. Well, what's the likelihood of her being able to shoot that intruder versus shooting one of her students when your adrenaline is rushing and your primary job is educating and not defending? Like that's a scary proposition that I think is more likely to end up in innocent lives being ended by that with good intentions than it is to result in that one singular bad guy being taken down.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think those are all legitimate points, and Wally, I tend to agree with you on that one. With I have my concealed as well.
Go ahead.
I also don't carry very often either, and I'm not that awesome of a shot when I'm calm, pointing my weapon at something that's 10 yards away. But I think maybe another consideration is the mental health aspect of it, as we call it, mental health. What has led to? I feel it feels like nihilism is the best word to describe it. I can't help but see a correlation between the divorce of religion in the public schools and the rise of meaninglessness. And if I am taught that I am protoplasm and I'm an accident and there is no meaning other than what I assign to it, then it seems like there are some pretty significant, and neither is anybody else. They're not made in the image of God. They're not unique individuals who have a soul, I guess, of sorts. Then there's some significant barriers that have been destroyed that I think historically have been in place. Now, I'm sure that you could find examples of the contrary, but I do think that that's at least something to consider. And when you look at this particular recent shooter, I don't know how much you all have read about this person and their, I guess his views on things and his views. Did you read much about how he's trans And
Yeah, I've just seen the headlines. I really haven't read with
I
much
mean,
depth.
obviously this person was extremely troubled. But I think that's a very important aspect to it. And which leads me to, in future, when we do this in the future, I know that I've mentioned in the past about doing a little history, like the philosophy of DEI or whatever you want to call it. And I thought for a second, I was like, well, it seems like maybe it's been handed a death knell with the Trump administration, kind of like people finally had the courage to say, all right, yeah, we think it's bunk or bupkis or whatever. But the AMA just basically doubled down on it. And so I think that it would be a good idea to, if you would like, I would love to present maybe 15 minutes of just a very gloss of the history from what I see as where these ideas kind of gain some steam.
I would really enjoy. I would really enjoy that. I would really enjoy that.
Yeah.
You say the
Like
AMA,
right now?
the American Medical Association, that AMA, just double
Yeah.
down on it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear more about that too. Yeah, I'm very
Like
interested.
right now, are you saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I just want to answer
no.
Wally's question.
No, not right now.
First.
I'm not saying go into it right now. I'm saying
Another
the
podcast.
future.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I can
yes.
put together
Next
a
week.
few.
Are you getting on next week?
To be determined. I'll let you know.
Well, are you getting on next week, Chet?
Looked at my schedule.
Right now, I'm back on regular schedule, so we're good. What I've noticed about this podcast.
So then next week you're leading the topic of stand. So develop a conversation piece with that and how you want to drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already in my brain, friends.
So what I'll do is I'll just work on it over the week, and so whenever I'm on next or whenever, if it's okay with you, I'll just take a
please.
minute and go
Yeah,
for it. Yeah.
no, yes,
Great.
absolutely. I'd love that.
Please.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
But to your point, Wally, about
Which point is this?
the weapon in the class potentially harming innocents. You have dealt with firearms before. I'm not asking the weapon to be put into Sabrina's hands and then 3, 2, 1, go. Like that person, the person that has the weapon in the classroom has demonstrated responsibility with firearms. And let's put it this way. Does the perpetrator know whether that weapon is loaded or unloaded? The answer is no, but again, it's the deterrent factor. That individual that is brandishing the weapon to protect others, they don't need to do anything with it. If they need to fire the weapon, I hope, because this is probably protocol for the classroom, all the kids get the farthest away from the door, and that teacher puts the door, puts themselves between the kids and the door, and then therefore there is no innocent lives. Now, again, in that classroom, in that scenario that you presented, where someone, it could be a misfire. Absolutely, there could be. But again, I don't want people to have a weapon in the classroom unless they're comfortable with it and they've demonstrated a certain level of comfortability. Like, I'm not trying to force this on anybody. I think that the deterrent cannot be stressed enough. Like, I think when these things happen, they're preying on the weak. They're not going to, if that person opens the door, turns the corner and sees a gun pointed at them, they're going to shit themselves and then turn around and leave if they haven't already been shot by then. You know what I mean? They're not seeing a gun and firing. Essentially they're hoping that they see a gun because their life is over. That's why they entered into this transaction.
Yeah, you run the chance of the person with the gun to have the same reaction too, right? Like the teacher that's gone through the training can have the same reaction of shitting their pants and running the other direction, right? You run the same.
But Wally, I will take that chance if my child is the one in the classroom that is being protected by somebody with a gun. Yeah. I'd rather have that chance than to not have it, and that guy walk into a classroom and just open fire. Like, I mean, again, the best case scenario would be that this never absolutely ever happens.
I agree.
Again, like, what, and even when it does happen, it doesn't happen the way that we're talking about it, just like it did in Uvalde. Like, there are so many people that responded to it and no one knew what was going on. No one was taking action.
Yeah.
Like, that is a real thing in an emergency situation. I'm sure Tim's seen it on the medical side, not just an active shooter. Like, people think that they're ready for that scenario, and when it's presented to themselves, they don't know what to do. They freeze up, they hesitate, they're not sure. Like, I don't want somebody brandishing a gun. And again, if that individual is not comfortable, but let's throw this scenario out to you. Let's say we put a gun in every teacher's hands, but it's a replica and none of them are loaded. But we tell everybody knows that there's a gun in the classroom, but it's a replica. It cannot actually shoot. It can do all the actions, but it cannot actually shoot any projectiles. Like, don't you think that just saying that and everybody saying it and no one, again, the secret will probably come out at some point, but just having that, having that.
Here's why, based on what Chet said, and I think that's probably right, is that, I think it was Chet, how many of these people will just turn the gun on themselves afterwards? Now, if I know I'm just going to kill myself, what do I care if some other teacher has a gun in my face? I'm going to die anyway. So, I mean,
well, for somebody also that in that scenario, Wally, I don't wish that upon anyone. I don't want a teacher to have to rack around in the chamber, squeeze off around, and kill somebody like that. That person did not train professionally for that scenario to happen. I don't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't want you guys to have to do that to protect your family, but because it's going to have some mitigating factors and after effects for you as an individual. But somebody that's trained for it, again, I don't know what the answer is, but I know that there's a lot of veterans out there that would gladly volunteer in their communities to stand at the front.
This is a good point. Is that I'm not against guns in school. I'm not against having people trained. My only point is that teachers have enough on their hands to try to educate the youth of America today, that if you compound it with something like firearms training on top of it, like, why not have a dedicated resource officer in every school that could be ex-military but somebody who's dedicated to building relationships with the kids who are at risk, as well as be trained in the ability to protect mass people with a firearm. Like, that seems to serve both needs.
Yeah.
That at a much higher rate than try to co-train a second grade teacher.
I think also you dealing with the people that you have, there are a lot of entities that deal with helping people with mental health, but they don't go door to door, asking people if here's my business card, come see me. Sometimes they'll go to a school and talk about feelings, etc. If you're feeling this, like, we want to talk to you. We have ways of working through these feelings and dealing with them and those emotions. Like, that's a real thing too. But again, I think that, yes, a teacher does have a lot on their plate. And at the end of the day, I believe that every teacher that's in that classroom would lay down their lives for those kids. So why not take it another step? And the ones that want to train themselves, and maybe it's not a firearms class. Maybe it's self-defense / hand-to-hand combat. I don't know what it is, but those teachers nowadays are going to be subjected to one of those two. There's probably going to be some sort of self-defense that they need, as well as probably some offensive tactics with their hands and taking people down. But again, if somebody's going to lay down their life for children, then they should prepare themselves for that inevitable fact that it's going to happen. And then
it's a sad world. That's an inevitable fact. That's a sad world we live in.
Not inevitable. But I will say this. I think
I'm not talking about the guns. I'm talking about in a situation where they have to subdue somebody, that whether it's a fight they're breaking up, whether it's the student is attacking them, like, that's almost inevitable. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. So I trained for my job. We have a system we call Alice. It's a nationally renowned. I'm not familiar. I think we've talked about it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all about active shooter situations and how to go about doing it. And it kind of contrasts the traditional response, which is locked down, like where you lock the door and hide under your desk. And it,
Yeah.
and, and it's,
How often is that a certification?
yeah.
How often's the certification?
We get it recertified every 2 years. Where we have to train our staff annually, and it's got a online component, a classroom component, and a practical component. And it talks about not just like,
is there reoccurring training?
So
is there reoccurring training or refresher training every 2 months,
yeah,
3 months, quarterly?
Annually.
Yes.
Annually.
No. I mean something other than annual, because to my point with certifications and annual training or recerting, Tim is will appreciate this. My sister just told me about she's recerting for her it's basically a resuscitation in the clinic where she works at, and it's for people that are in surgery, right? So you need to you do compressions with a mask, etc. It needs a seal. So they recert on that, like Wally, every 2 years or every year. But there is no concurrent training. There's nothing in between the certifications that you certify and then you revisit it when you certify or have to do hands-on. But and I'm sure some doctor somewhere, if they're listening, one of our listeners potentially, if you create some sort of concurrent training for that specific certification that keeps them current, right, or develops the training throughout, then it's only a recert and it's not actually testing out. Does that make sense?
So I understand what you're saying and I understand where you're going, but if you're a business that primarily deals with educating America's youth and you have a limited number of hours you're able to train people on, you can't spend a disproportionate amount of time training for the worst case scenario when you're drowning in issues that are a day-to-day scenario where, like, a kid's not getting food at home, a kid's being abused at home, a kid is being bullied by their peers, or you know what I mean? So you got to spend time with the 99% of the issues you're dealing with, not the 0.001% of potential. Now, I'm not trying to undercut the importance of that issue. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is that the way kids are treating each other, like being able to focus on like identifying factors on abuse or neglect or all these other things that are happening at a far higher percentage of the time is more worth your time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. But that's also part of the reason why you saying that you can't. And what we need to start saying is that we can. We have to spend time. We have to spend time doing that if we want to impact the change. You know what I mean? But you're
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Yeah, and I kind of speak from like I'm an administrator now, so like when I say that, it's like because I understand what you're saying, and from a fundamental issue area, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But then I think the practical implications, where like I want my staff to be compassionate, and I want my staff to connect with the kids, and so like. Because like from my job, like if they're able to do that, we can affect more change on a more immediate level than if I spend like it's just it's a shitty situation to be in. It's a shitty situation because we got to spend more time on the what ifs than the reality of the job. Like it's a losing battle.
There's a measure of symptoms and disease here. Largely, we're talking about symptoms. The lone gunman and things like that. These are symptoms of a disease, of a cultural rot. And so, like in any healthcare scenario or family scenario, you're looking for the root cause analysis. You're looking for how do you get back to where this stems from? And if I were to put my money where the solution would be, it would be fathers in the home. I mean, I agree with Barack Obama on this. He said that we have a father crisis. And I don't know if I told you this anecdote, but I was I was driving by the mall here in Fort Collins, and it used to be called it was this, like all malls. There are tombs nowadays. Like nobody goes into malls anymore. And this particular mall was kind of on its way out, but they were renovating it. It's like a $300 million renovation of this mall. And I was just remarking to my wife, wow, looks like I lost half my audience here.
No, they can still hear you.
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Sorry,
Check.
Tim, you were not on here the first time we did this. We all walk away to grab a drink or food, but we're
Okay.
all within hearing distance. So
Okay.
sorry, you weren't on there when we established this.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was turned to my wife and I was like, remember malls? Remember when they were like the center of all of our social gatherings and our commerce and everything? Like that's where you went. We had mall rats in the 90s, And now this is like nobody goes there anymore. They're just we just fundamentally do commerce differently.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's cyclical though, because prior to malls there was Main Street, and then when the malls came about, the main streets became empty. Now it's kind of coming back full circle where Main Street.
You're jumping into my anecdote and driving it into a tree, Wally.
I'm
just let me
I'm
cook.
Just telling my
let me
truth.
cook.
I'm just telling my truth.
No, this is a metaphor. This is a metaphor. Okay. Anyway. So as I was saying, I was like, I wonder if I could turn to my wife in 50 years and say, Amber, do you remember hospitals? Remember when they were just this huge center of all of our health and all those things, and we would go there, and this is where all the sick people go. And I was like, what would it take for me to turn to her and be like, what would it take for me to get to that point? What would it take for us to get to that point? And so I think I wrote a blog with like 8 or 10 different little things, but like what would it need to take? But what it came down to is the family structure. All of the things that happen in the ER, majority, 80, 70, 80%, are sequela or downstream consequences of smoking, psychiatric issues, drinking, poor eating, things like that. Mm-hmm. And so, well, how do you take care of that? If you were to really address those, well, it's the family. The family is the hub of moral, social, physical health and education. So if you focus on that, then presumably a lot of the majority of these things would just sort of evaporate. Well, where do you need to focus if the family's broken? You need to focus on the fathers. The fathers as the head of a family and as the leader. If you have healthy heads, you have healthy bodies. And I think this is sort of a long way of getting around to where Barack Obama was saying that we need to focus on the fathers if we have a father problem. Is I think that's where if you focus on that, which has nothing to do with healthcare, has nothing to do with school, external school, but this is where the disease starts. The disease starts with absent fathers or abusive fathers or crappy heads of families, and somebody said, I forget who, but families are the bricks that build civilization. When you don't have a brick that coheres together, the whole thing crumbles. That's what you're seeing. We're an atomized society. We don't have a family anymore, largely. And so if I were to put my money in, I'm putting my time and efforts into focusing on fathers, like in our church, in our local church, as to get at where the disease starts. And then the symptoms, like everybody knows in healthcare, you can help symptoms, you can ameliorate them to a certain extent, but they're not going to solve the problem. So for the gun thing, I think the gun thing is a symptom of a cancer that starts in the family.
Yeah. So to your point, Tim, with the group that you're doing, the fatherhood and how to impact kids and your children at the church, I feel like you're that specific demographic. Like that's not the demographic that needs to be touched, right? Like that's not, it's the fathers that aren't there. So how do we, again, how do we affect those individuals? And is it like,
Well,
let's think about all those individuals, you know, not to say that you walk on water or turn water to wine, but like if you're Jesus, you're speaking to your disciples and your gospels, they need to go out. They're the ones. I don't know if that's part of your
well,
speech
let
and
me say,
education, but they need to go out and be talking to the fathers that play football that don't go to church,
oh yeah,
and
yeah,
educating
totally.
them
Well,
on, yeah.
let me be first to say, don't be too quick to say that men in the church are not the ones who need the
Well,
ones
I
who
mean,
need that.
yes, I agree with you.
Yeah,
That it needs to be said to every father, but the point
yeah,
is like the people that you're talking to, like they need to be the responsible ones. Hopefully, are being
yeah,
charged with go touch those people that aren't here. Go talk to those people that aren't here. Go see
exactly.
what you can do with and even in some scenarios, it's not going to be a father. There are for centuries, there have been mothers that have raised very good men,
Right. Sure.
right? So
Understood.
it's not
Totally.
just the father. So there is a parental figure that or a parental head
Right.
that needs to, step in the father figure role to tell sons to
Well,
be
I
tough,
think
Well
to
said.
you're
I
teach
agree.
them how.
yeah, you're actually saying the Great Commission, go and make disciples. So yes, yeah, that's exactly the intention. But you start with what you have, right? You need to make
Yeah,
sure where
yeah,
you're at is healthy and functional, and yes, and then progressively outward, right?
yeah,
And I agree that certainly there are a great many number of single parents and mothers who, whatever, that's a situation they're in, and you can't be like, well, you're a single mom, we're not dealing with you. Of course, that's a thing. Um, but it is also true that when a father is absent, the story the father I believe holds a singularly important role in the home, and mothers obviously are exceedingly important. But even in my own personal experience with working with people in the ER and getting into these conversations with them, there's something about father wounds that just hit different. It lands different. I don't know what it is, but there's just like this uh,
what do what do you mean by father wound? Sorry.
father wounds. So um, an absent father will affect a child more deeply in their identity than an absent mother, if we were just to compare the two. And I don't, I, it's just an observation I've made. I think it's also true. I think that there's, the, if the father is, as head of the family, if that piece is missing, the mother obviously has to take a certain leadership role in that, but the story of that family becomes a missing head. It's
Mhm.
not that you can have a substitutionary head to come in that just does an equal role. It's
So you feel
there's
that's more important than the nurturer? Like a
well,
family absent the nurturer would
here's the
that's a
thing.
whole different set of deficits.
Absolutely, you're right. I mean, like you're not excited. You just get her their mom, you'll be fine. No, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely not. The I believe that women build civilization. Women build civilizations.
Yeah.
And I want to die and protect for my wife to build the kind of civilization she's building. So um, I have an extremely high view of the value, the beauty, and the goodness and the truth that comes from women and their nurturing capabilities. And they are the primary educators, moral and intellectual educators of the future. That's who they are. And so,
But you feel like a family's more able to survive with absent mother versus an absent father.
those are rough ways. No, I'm not. I'm saying that there's a deeper hit for the kid's identity if the father is absent and then if the mother's absent. Obviously, that's a worst case scenario. You want both.
Sure. I agree. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Maybe one example is, so when you're doing chest compressions on a body, a dead body, what are you trying to do? Essentially, why do we pump the heart? Anybody
keep the
know?
system, keep blood pumping through the system.
Stop brain damage. Keep blood flowing through the
exactly
through the
to
organs.
keep blood flowing to the head. So you don't care about the heart necessarily. That's not your goal. You focus on the heart, but your goal is to resuscitate the brain. And so that's maybe a crude metaphor. So I might be getting a little bit off topic here, but as far as getting back to the whole, the disease and guns and all that stuff, I think if you're going to focus on something, you need to focus on fathers in the home. And I'm talking to men here who are good fathers. And so this is something that we, this kind of even the conversations that we have and the willingness to engage in good faith and things like that that's exceedingly important.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Tim. I think it speaks more to the fact that there's such a higher percentage of families without fathers than there are without mothers, right? I think, and I don't know what those numbers are, and I can't pretend that I do, but I would argue, I don't think it's really shocking to say it's a far higher percentage of families without fathers. So it's almost an epidemic, really, for certain segments of our population. So that the deficits of a family without a father are so obvious in our society that it's like just one of the major issues we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
But if the numbers were reversed, I would probably say the same would exactly be said about if it was an epidemic of mothers missing from families as well.
Yeah, I don't think so. That would be an interesting conversation. I think it would be different. And I think the reason why it's not different is also interesting. Why is it that fathers are absent, not mothers? What is the nature, that relationship that a mother has with a child that's like, they're much less likely to abandon their child than a father is to abandon.
Or what character deficits do men possess that would make them abandon their families, right?
Yes.
Either side of that argument could possibly be true.
Well, and also what sort of medicinal additions have we made to society that allows men to get the milk but not have to buy the cow?
Yeah. It's maybe happening at a higher percentage. Currently, I don't think it's exclusive. I think there's history is strife with fathers abandoning families, right? I don't think that's I think there's probably many, many tales of similar woes from 100, 200, 300, probably for all we know, 1,200 years ago.
Yeah.
So is it a biological urge? Is it like a Is it inbred in men to want to spread your seed and travel amongst?
Let me put a book plug for you if you want to read more of this. It's a fascinating book. It's like a paradigm shifter. It's called Men in Marriage by George Gilder. It's a fascinating book. It's written back in the 70s. And he talks a lot about this. Why is it that I think the first edition was called Sexual Suicide. But it's basically the premise is that men engage in marriage to tie themselves to their future, because by themselves, well, it's a whole long thing. I recommend the book to you, Men in Marriage by George Gilder.
Men in Marriage?
On these podcasts, I just buy the book.
George Gilder?
Buy the book as you say it. So I'm buying it right now.
Okay, Men and Marriage.
Tim, I have a question.
Fascinating book. Yeah.
You still work at a prison?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you talk to the chaplain and ask him about, again, the same father/men conference talk that you're doing in your church with the fathers and men there? Is there, because my opinion is the guys that are in the men, the fathers, the sons that are in the prison, they're the ones that need to hear some of the things that you're talking about and addressing in a church. And I know there's a chaplain there, but what aspects do they hit on when it comes to that topic? Because
That's a good
prison
question.
is about reform, but
Yeah, I have seen our chaplain once or twice. He's a younger guy, he's maybe in his mid-30s. I've never actually talked to him though. But I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, if you had a church with just people who got out of jail, in one ways it would be the easiest thing ever. It's like you don't have to get into all these theological topics. You're just like, don't steal. Don't sleep with it's like it's so easy. It would be,
that's probably it. But
yeah, right. It would be like teaching kindergarten in a way, But
yeah.
So anyway, it's a really good point. Yeah.
Just curious because I'm sure I'd like to think that there's like the chaplain has he chooses. I won't say deacons, but I don't have another term to use. But there are people in the prison that he charges with, hey, get a group together on Wednesday nights when you guys are. I can't be there. Get a group together. Start talking about this topic. Start talking about that, and helping along the reform process. But it is I hope that it's not just like you said. I hope that their curriculum isn't just don't steal. It's not that hard. But I hope it's a little bit more in depth because again, like that seems like the more people you get talking about that in that environment, then that's I feel like that's where you're making your money, right? Like if you want to use a financial term on it, like those are the people that you need to affect and instill that thing, whatever it is, give them some sort of motivation. I don't know what it is, but just curious. It's kind of like me as a coach. I talk to people at the gym all the time about fitness, but they're not the ones that I need to be talking about fitness with. I answer the questions, but I need to be when I'm at the bar having a drink, like, and this person over next to me is telling me that they, giving me hints that they want to get into a gym and they want to be healthier. Like I should have a conversation with them, but it normally just gears towards sports or whatever we're talking about at that point. But
that's a good point, right? Yeah, totally. My wife just got home, so I'm gonna bail.
No, we all are,
man.
We all felt it. It was all the same moment, like boom.
Not me though. No wife came home, so
no, not jeez.
My wife's been home.
Why don't you call that 26-year-old? You got the number of, right? Yeah,
I do. Yeah, been texting her all day. I think the kids call it left me on red. No.
Oh no.
My son called this. I'm wearing my wedding ring doesn't fit my finger anymore, so my son called it I'm wearing drip.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
I'm getting a new one, by the way, to wear my actual finger.
Yeah. You can get a Quelo. You can get a Quelo ring. Just it's like a $10 ring, just so that you have something on there,
Do you guys remember in sex ed class in 9th grade where the teacher handed out M&Ms and we had to exchange them? And then she's like, "Oh yeah, if you got green, you got chlamydia." And I still remember that to this day. You remember that?
No,
but I do remember that.
Fantastic.
I do remember that. Chlamydia never
what were the other
so
colors? What were the other colors?
I'll tell you, because I remember. Green was gonorrhea, orange was chlamydia, tan was HIV. Oh gosh,
man, they missed that. Red should have been HIV.
I think that was before they had blue. So because they still had the tan.
Were you supposed to give those colors to whoever wanted them? Like they had
to choose
like she didn't tell you. Like
you just
the evils, or
you had 5. You had 5 minutes to exchange M&Ms, and anyway.
I think it was 7th or 8th grade.
I don't remember that.
Think it was 9th grade.
I don't remember.
I probably just ate all the M&Ms and didn't really.
When did you come, Tim? When did you come to the school district? Like, what was your first grade? 8th grade. I think it wasn't 8th grade. It was 9th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade. Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, I remember.
Who was the teacher? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I remember 8th grade, the first day of school, a woman named Abby Howe. Is that her name?
Yeah, I just saw her at Dave Matthews Band concert like 2 months.
Oh, seriously? Yeah, someone can say, she's like, Abby wants to go out with you. And I was like, go where? I had no idea what any of that meant. Come from a Christian school. Like, with like 3 kids in my class. Yeah.
That's
I don't remember
fantastic.
who Abby Howe is.
That's fantastic.
Tim, before you go though, you said Wyatt got a job. So the internship in Hawaii that didn't
Didn't
pan out?
come to fruition. He thought about moving out anyway. And then he's been working landscaping, and the landscaper he works for lives next door to an arborist. And he's kind of he loves climbing, he loves weapons, so it really fits well. It'll be a good job, starting off.
So he's going to climb
Great.
trees and cut down big branches
Yep,
and all that.
he's going to
That's
do
cool.
that. And the interesting thing is that we named him after my grandfather, Larry Wyatt, and he was an arborist, and that was his last job because he fell 50 feet and broke his back, and then.
Well,
That's a hell of a story to tell with a chuckle.
And his middle name is Branch, which is
I love it.
No.
yeah, it
This
is
is
because
destiny. Good for him.
it's
This could be
my
a career.
mother's Amber's mom's maiden name is Branch, so it's Wyatt Branch Constant. So it's so that's
ABC. That's ironic.
yeah,
too.
but it was through him breaking his back, he became a Christian and kind of changed the trajectory of the family. So
There you go.
You know.
Wow,
Very
that's
cool.
interesting.
And-
That's good that he's an arborist, though. I've heard good things about that. Like it's you're outside dealing with a chainsaw, man stuff.
right,
Getting
Hey,
your hands dirty.
we all had that weird first job out of college. Mine
Well, I
was at
think
a
now
radio-
you don't tie your own harness. It's you clip in, so you do need to tie your anchors and all that. So
Yeah.
as long
My
as
first
as
job
long
was
as
at
he
a
does that.
residential treatment center with adjudicated youth, and I was getting paid like $11.50 an hour. Totally worth it.
Totally worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
Back then it was.